Man, now that would have been embarrassing if I'd have gone live and I didn't have my microphone set up. Here we go, ladies and germs.
That's why it's really important to have a plan and understand what your goals are.
In fact, my camel out there is suffering right now with a broken back.
So I actually found Pepe when it was only a couple of hours old, and I'm like, oh, this is a funny meme.
Oh my god.
Yo! Who is this DJ?
The old man is swing trading over years at a time. And it's like, that's where the real money is made.
The answer is a permanent loss. With single-sided staking, you don't have to worry about impermanent loss.
Really, at the end of the day, it's just the matter of a macro market. It's just what happens.
If you're aware, if you're disciplined, you can hone that into further financial growth.
Financial freedom, so we can actually live life and not have to be constantly living paycheck to paycheck. I mean, that's the ultimate goal, more or less, right?
There was an error that occurred on Twitter, and it's not temporary. It is temporary, not live. Wow, that's a bummer. Big deal. Who cares, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, crypto degenerates, ducks and squirrels? Welcome to this very short, very special episode of Whiskey Wednesday DJ Roundtable. I will be your host for tonight and your solo showrunner. I don't have a whole lot to say. I just want to say that life is good. Things are great. You guys should be positive and be happy that the price goes up and the price goes down. If the price goes up, that means that your bags get wealthier. And if the price goes down, means you got more time to buy it. So that's super cool and awesome. And I'm getting a call. Look at that. I'm getting a call from Brendan, the anonymous bean from DJ Roundtable. What's up, Brendan? Let me I don't think that I can answer the phone while I'm streaming, but anyways, that's you know what? Fuck it. Oh, hey Brendan, did I forgot to put the link in the chats? I did do that, didn't I?
You put a different link in the chat.
Oh, I did. Oh my goodness. Well, hang on. Let me send.
I'm in a different studio altogether.
Oh, that is hilarious. Hang on, let me paste it. Oh, that's so funny. We're live right now, and you're on speakerphone. This is awesome. Here you go.
I see.
Yep. This link, by the way, is the same
I'm
link.
watching you talk to me.
Oh, that's hilarious. This is the same link that we can use for every Whiskey Wednesday, by the way, now. Oh, I should put that in the DJ Roundtable since it is Whiskey Wednesday. All right, I'll see you in the green room in a second. All right. Oh, that's so funny. Here I am debating to answer the phone call and forgetting that I didn't do the stream logistics properly. So that's totally fucking ridiculous. Oh man, shame on me. But anyways, guys, that's what's going on. If you guys want to join the Whiskey Wednesday ever, then all you have to do is click on the link that is in the show description. I think I put it in there. Oh, there we go. We got Brendan. Brendan, amigo, what's going on, buddy?
Nothing. I was sitting in a different green room, by the way, which you posted in our chat.
I did post. Okay, so that one,
You posted the wrong,
that one was from
wrong
like
StreamYard, yeah.
Yeah, that was in all fairness, that was on March 8th that I had posted in there.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I only looked at the last StreamYard, and I just click enter.
Oh my goodness. Oh, poor Brendan. Poor Brendan. Oh, I'm sorry, dude. Yeah, that was from several days ago. I totally neglected to put this StreamYard in our in our little leadership chat. That's hilarious. And I only just put it in the oh shoot, in the DJ Roundtable.
I know, I was sitting on the other one, but I had the stream on, and then I saw you post it. We're live, and I'm like, I'm not live.
Oh, that's too funny. Well, it's good to see you, broski. Welcome to Whiskey Wednesday. I'm having a great day. What are you doing? What are you up to?
Just work, man. Work a little stressful, but things are good. Paying the bills, and just finished dinner with the wife.
Ooh, outstanding. I'm
Yeah.
over at Dace's house. Dace is actually dining right now. He just got back from taking care of some errands and things, so we're gonna be hanging out here later on. It was a great day of I'm doing work for him for the next 2 weeks or so, something like that. We're doing a bunch of rigging and a bunch of sound setup, and for the folks at home that don't know, Dace runs an audiovisual installation company, and it's super cool and awesome working over here. We get to do a whole bunch of high adventure stuff up in the scissor lift and up in the ceilings and churches and putting up lights and sound systems and stuff. So it's just super fun, and we've been hanging out. That's cool though. You had dinner with the wife, and you've been having a good time working. You said, or stressful?
Yeah. Well, we had our like 2 week honeymoon trip, so away for 2 weeks, and then get back to work. Lots of stuff to catch up on, and a little hard to get back in the swing of things. But overall good. Yeah.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. It totally makes sense. The 2 weeks of being out and then getting into a whole new thing. It's tough to reset the patterns of behavior and all that good stuff. So excellent, man. I'm glad to hear that you're doing well. Let's see real quick how the motherfucking chat shout out audience are doing. It looks like we've got our good buddy Mr. Slide 180, who has just started a 14-hour night shift. Wow, wee whoa. Props to you, man. That is a lot of time to spend at night. I know that my good friend Josh has a really cool job that he just got recently, and he's been telling me a little bits and pieces about it, and it's super tragic because like I brought him some delicious alcohols from the other side of the country, and by the time I got to Texas and I was all situated and ready to rock and roll it over, he was already out the door. So it was like, son of a bitch. So we'll have to. Well, I will get you those delicious beers, Mister Slide 180, Mr. Josh. You will have your wonderful heady toppers from the Alchemist in Vermont. So
Oh, love me heady topper.
Yeah, bro. You've had them before. You gone to their brewery up there.
I have. Remember when the first day you got them, I explained on stream that Heady Topper and all of their IPAs are gluten free.
Oh, that's right. Fuck yeah. Yeah, gluten free beer. Yeah, that's kick ass, man. That is awesome.
Crafted to remove gluten, I suppose you could say. But yeah, Heady Topper's like, I'm not a huge IPA fan, but Heady Topper's delicious. Has a good, nice citrus flavor to it. And if anyone is ever up in the Vermont area and has an opportunity to get it, you can't really get it outside of the Vermont area. Maybe correct. on the outskirts a little bit, but yeah. And I assume you went to their brewery, but it's super cool. They got the outdoor area, they got the huge indoor area. They're always doing events. Every time I'm up there, I try to stop by.
Yeah, bro, they had like door holders like ready on standby for when I like walked up. They have like areas for tour buses to pull in. They had all the it was freshly snowed, so they had just plowed and salted the entire parking lot. It's super cool, man. And they got like a little taco truck outside and a little dog walking station. It's a nice little brewery up there in it's in like a tiny little town too in Vermont. So the Alchemist Brewery, for those of you guys that want to go to a cool place that makes some cool beer and stuff. But yeah.
It's in. Ooh. I know it's in Stowe. I don't know, like if it's technically. I think it's in Stowe. I don't know if it's technically in another little small village or not. But I was up there. Last time I was up there was 2024 or 2020. I think it was 2024. Yeah, 2024. My cousin got married, and she got married in Stowe, and my hotel was like right around the corner from Alchemist, and yeah, it was a good time.
Oh, that's fun, dude. I love it. Oh, and speaking of good times, he's given me an update. He'll be back in May or June, so it will be a little adventure. Wow, bro. You are on a long work trip. That's kick-ass, though. I love it. May or June. I will keep that.
Wow, good for him.
That up here in the remembering doodle. Well, excellent. Well, it's good to see that we are joined by Mr. Slide 180 in the comments. We've also got Mr. Moonpilled Rational Optics, who has just rolled in saying, "Cheers, gentlemen. Cheers to you too, good sir."
Cheers.
Thorovia. Brendan, I meant to tell you, my mother got me this little bracelet thing that has Slantia written in Ogdom.
Gaelic?
No, it's like Ogham. It's like a line with a bunch of slashes on it. Yeah, it's like super old, like Celtic something. I don't know if it's Scottish Celtic or if it's Irish.
Yeah, it's old Irish for sure. I think it's like. I don't know what century it was, but I do know what you're talking about now. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's like just a line with a whole bunch of dashes on it. It reminds me a little bit of like Morse code and things, but like you could write this language with just like a knife and a tree. Just
Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it before. It reminds me. Oh, it's been a while since I've seen it, so I could be wrong, but I kind of remember it looking like, when you're like counting days, 1, 2, 3, 4 slash. Like that's
yeah,
kind of what it reminded me of.
Let me see what it's called. Ogum alphabet. Oh yeah. Um, yeah, it's really cool how the words are written, because it's all just yeah. So it's a series of up to 4 slashes that are either on the left side of the vertical line, on the right side of the vertical line, or they go through it. And it's a pretty nifty little language. Let me see if I can pull up an image of it. Yeah, this reminds me of like J.R.R. Tolkien, Lord of the Rings type stuff. So
I can see
let's
that.
see. Yeah, so this is for the folks at home who have not seen it before. This is what the language looks like, and this is probably a better way to look at it, because this is how the words look. And normally it has like a little arrow pointing the direction, like if it's if you like have it on like a sideways thing, or if like you hold the stick upside
Yeah,
down,
do
you
you
know
know if
which
it's
way.
right or left?
Yeah. But anyways, like the words look just like this. It's like a stick with like a slash through it, or a bunch of like lines left and right. Kind of like a barcode, kind of like a whole bunch of things, but super cool little language. So, anyways, I wanted to
That's
share that with
awesome.
you.
Well,
Share that
cilantro.
with you, Brendan. Yeah, cilantro.
I have no alcohol in my possession currently, in my hand, but
Yeah,
cilantro.
me neither. For a whiskey Wednesday, I am tragically under alcoholed right now, and I totally did not think about that. I came over here to Dace's place without I didn't even think about like buying dog food. I didn't think about getting food for myself all before I arrived. I'm just gonna fucking drive there, and then here I am, and he's been awesome, and Mama Dog's sleeping over there
I
on the
see
bed
the
behind me.
cutie over there.
But yeah. So I don't have anything crazy that I was thinking about talking about. I had no idea that you were going to join me. I was just going to bullshit, read some chat shout outs, and cover a couple campfire stories. There was 1 or 2 things that I saw that was
CPI
interesting.
numbers came out today.
Oh, they did? Oh,
They
excellent.
did.
Excellent. Were they good CPI numbers?
They were as expected, which is actually pretty good. So the core CPI was a 0.2% month over month, and still as expected 2.5% for the annual rate. And the traditional CPI was stuck at 2.4% as anticipated, seasonally adjusted 0.3% month over month. It's so generally speaking, that's good, because we had seen a couple downwards ticks the last few times. But the CPI print next month will be the interesting one. With the bombs still flying, with the futures of oil going up and down and up and down. Today they announced that they were going to release, I think, the largest supply ever approved from the strategic reserves worldwide. So I forget how many millions of barrels that was, or
I think
what.
I saw that it was 400 million is what
400 million.
my flawed memory is telling
Yep.
me. So take that with a grain of salt.
No, I think you're right, because I'd seen it. I just couldn't remember how many 100 million. So that is, I think, beneficial, but we're kind of going to see over the next week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. First of all, how long this little thing lasts for. For me, I hate calling things, it's a war, obviously, but unless there's boots on the ground, I don't find it like true war, if that makes sense. And so I really don't want to see boots on the ground. If I did, I'd be very disappointed in that. But I hope that they can wrap this up in the next couple weeks, whatever they're trying to do, or less, preferably in a couple days. And, we can get sort of restabilized. But I think, them releasing the oil, it does 2 things. One, it pressures Iran to say, hey, we don't really care about your oil right now, because we have 400 million barrels that we can use for as long as we need to, until you decide to, surrender, or whatever else they're asking them to do. So I think it's a pressure play on Iran, but also I think that it is to help, not keep oil prices up too long. So we'll see if that, what effect that has over the next few days. Even though futures come down, prices jump up right when futures jump up. But for some reason, they don't seem to come down as fast when futures go down. That works, isn't it?
Is that manipulation? Is that what you're implying?
I'm not implying manipulation necessarily. I'm just implying that the oil industry, and when people can sell you stuff for more money, they tend to, even if they don't necessarily need to.
Oh, gotcha. Those greedy bastards. I mean, yeah, take advantage of every opportunity to squeeze the currency out of those customers, I
Yeah.
suppose.
So the overall point is next week next month when we have the next CPI print. Let me see what the date is for the next CPI print.
Mm-hmm.
That will be interesting because we'll see if any of this has an effect on that. So came out yesterday, and then so we will see April 10th. Oh, sorry, yeah, came out today. We'll see April 10th will be the next one.
Okay.
So that one will be more curious to see if what we're seeing here in the war affects anything, or not. But it'll be interesting. Do you see Michael Saylor?
I haven't. No. What was he on about now?
Pretty much had his largest buy order in their history this week.
Oh, I did. Man, I'm scrolling through crypto news right now. They bought a shit ton of Bitcoin.
So on the 9th, I think 2 days ago, they bought like 18,000 Bitcoin for 1.2 billion or something to that extent.
Yes. 1,709 or 17,994 Bitcoin for 1.2 billion at total of $70,946 per BTC. Holy moly!
And do you know how many Bitcoin they mined in the last week?
But we just crossed over into the 20 millionth Bitcoin being mined.
We did.
Is that what your question was?
Well,
is BlackRock mining, or is MicroStrategy? Do they have miners?
No, but my point is that miners produced 3,150 Bitcoin last week.
Oh, yeah.
And Strategy bought 18,000 Bitcoin. So, miners aren't going to be able to keep up with how much they're buying, and he just continues to. So, I mean, it's nothing but bullish, when they're able to just essentially buy in an unlimited amount. Like, it's pretty crazy. So yeah, it's just crazy.
Yeah, because they buy the Bitcoin and then they reevaluate the company based on the balance sheet that now has the Bitcoin on it, and then they borrow more money off of that, rebalancing, like, hey, we're worth more, you should loan us more.
Well, yeah,
that's their system, right? And they also get people to buy stock in the company, which then goes into buying more Bitcoin and whatnot, right?
Yeah, that's a large portion of it currently. Is people buying through their, and then their dividend rate is pretty incredible too. So, I don't know.
It's higher than Hex.
Man, yeah. I just unstaked. I just had a stake come up yesterday. Mm-hmm. So I unstaked that today.
Ooh.
And yeah, I was just looking back at like the history of my stakes, and I had done some rolling stakes, like just test out the markets. And it's like, it's like, okay, well, you're getting a ton of money, and then now you're like one in just over 1%. Of course, it depends on how much you're putting in and how long you're doing it for. But like, man, 1% is not a lot. So that's interesting. I still have made some long-term stakes, even at the small amount, because I don't necessarily always look at the interest rate as much as I look at the T-share price. Yeah. And so, T-share price does nothing but go up, which means that, less and less Hex is going to come out of stakes from most people. Because one, a lot of people aren't staking, and two, you're not getting as much dividends. But at the same time, to get your max dividends, you need to put more and more in because of the T-share rate going up. So
yeah, I'm currently looking up what is the current T-share rate.
I think it's like 40, a little over 40,000 Hex, I think.
Yeah, 44,641. I actually have a T-share, like a cost per T-share calculator, where I put in the price, I put in the daily payout, and that's about it. So let's see. The price of hex right now is what, about 19% of a penny, if I remember correctly. Pulling up Deck Screener. So if a person wanted to get a T-share, yep, 19% of a penny. Wow. So you can get 5 hex for 1 penny. They stopped making pennies, but they're still making hex. So, so there you go. So let's see. I'm going to put that info into my calculator, and it will tell me that and we'll just presume that the daily payout is 1.5. So if you want to get 1 T-share for 1 day, right now it costs, and this is for Pulse Chain Hex, it costs $84.82 to get 1 T-share for 1 day, and you will get 1.5 hex out of it. And so by tomorrow, you will have $84 and still 82 cents at the end of your hex stake. But if you wanted to get a Quattro Cinco T-share, 1 single Quattro Cinco T-share, which is, you stake 1/3 of the amount of hex that you would need to stake today, that costs $28.27. So if a person were to stake out Quattro Cinco and then measure the number of T-shares that they get by the number of times they can divide their hex stake by $28, then that's what you would get. And you would start off with 14,880 hex. And at the end of, presuming that the T-share rate never changed and the payout per day stayed at 1.5 hex for the entire duration, you would get an additional 8,000 hex for a total of 23,000 hex at the end of your 15-year stake, which would be $44. So you'd be up $15 if the price stayed the same on your $28.
Assuming there isn't
assuming
actual price appreciation.
Yeah, that's correct. So so it's basically, if you want to buy a T-share today, if you want to buy a 15-year T-share, it's about $30. So like for the people that are looking to stack T-shares with the staking, then that's one way that you can do it. Or alternatively, another way that you can do it is you can go to the Actuator protocol, which we've spoken about many times. You can stake a whole bunch of hex to day 7,000, and then you can send that hex stake to the Actuator protocol. You can get a whole bunch of hex out of it, or you can get a whole bunch of HTT 7000s, and then you can stake those or you can trade those HTT 7000s in for hex, get more hex, restake it out 15 years, and just repeat this process. And like each time, like the number of hex goes down. But that's one of the things that you can do. I did that in the very early days when the Actuator protocol came out, and it's like, oh shit, I got a whole bunch of extra, But it's all like the protocol owns the stakes until I go and pay it back. So it's just that is the danger of doing that. And that was back when the daily payout was like 8 hex per T-share. So like if the payout is 8 hex per T-share, the protocol only takes the principal at the end of the stake. You get all the interest. And so like back then, staking hex was super duper lucrative because you would get about 5 or 6 times the number that you would put. If you staked 100,000 hex for 15 years, you would get about 600,000 hex at the end of it, or 500,000, something like that. You would get like a 4 or 5x addition to what you would originally stake. So if you believe in hex going up, and you also knew that you were going to be getting like these crazy payouts at the end, it's like, yeah, I'll take 100,000 hex, haircut right now and in the future to get the other 400,000, which is the rest of the stake, the yield, the accrual, and then I'll just pull that out at the end. But all of that, all that stuff changed when good old Origin Address started staking hex and gobbled up all the T-shares. So there used to be, I want to say there was only maybe 2 million T-shares that existed or something like that, and now there's like 9 million. So the price to get T-shares is, again, and as you were saying earlier, in hex terms, still just going up and up and up. But we're lucky because the dollar value, lucky is a good way to frame it. We're lucky because the dollar value is so down. It's much more like price efficient to get T-shares right now. So yeah.
The other thing that you can do with Actuator protocol is if you pull out your HTTs, you can also pair them with hex in a farm. So
Yes.
super safe, right? You're not going to see a lot of you'll see a bit of price change between the hex and the HT 4000 as it gets closer to date. But as it's pretty far out, I mean, so right now I could share my screen actually. I don't
Yeah.
want to dox myself. This is just a side wallet, so I don't care so much. But
Oh, okay.
I don't have my one of the wallets showing here anyway.
Yeah.
Can you see that?
Yes, we can see it. This is beautiful. Let me change our background here, producer style. Bam. All right. Background's good.
So here are your farms between your HTTs and your hex. So as you can see, I have a couple pools in here. Not too much money involved, although I suppose if you 10x this rather than minus 10x, it would be a bit more. But I just created these like, I don't know, like I feel like a month ago. And you can see like the APRs are super legit. So if you're planning on staking, and you're planning on staking for a while, you might as well stake out to like one of these days. HTT 6000 looks good because it's 44% versus a longer stake gets you less. That's also why I pulled out some 4000s, because this I felt like was the best return on investment from an APR standpoint. And again, I don't have a lot of money in either of these, but I am considering staking more hex for the 4000s and increasing this pool share, because that's a great APR. That's a great APR, especially if you're already planning to stake hex. Might as well pull out those HTTs. Not only are you gaining, right, the whatever the small percentages you are for hex, but then if you pair it with hex, your APR is now way higher than what you would have. So honestly, this is one of the things that I've found recently that I think is actually a really good play. And one that again, this is just a small side wallet of mine, but I've increased some of my stakes in this range, and some of the longer ones as well, because again, if I'm going to get 1% and then be able to pair HTT with hex and get another, 25 to 40%, now that's what we're talking about. That's some serious money and serious.
That is measured in the actuator token, right? It's not measured.
So here's my pending rewards. So if I were to take these actuator tokens and turn them into hex right now, I don't want to dox myself, so I'm going to stop sharing. Go to Pitius. I'm going to put what I've earned from just that wallet of actuator so far, and I can swap those rewards for 7,000 hex.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't.
That's not bad.
7,000 hex is like what a 60-day stake would have got you if you staked like 500,000 hex before the APR went down.
Yeah.
Now, if you keep that out to a year, I mean, you're talking some serious amount of hex that you're able to stack through those APRs. So I have no problem. I still think there's some really good opportunities within the Pulse chain and hex ecosystems to earn APR as you wait for price appreciation. If you're still here, if you're still holding, you might as well let your coins work for you. And there are a lot of good protocols out there. We've had the actuator guys on multiple times, and I wouldn't understand the protocol as much as I do if I didn't, well, first I wasn't on stream, but also if I didn't rewatch some pieces of it to fully understand it. And of course we do a research before we have guests on, but 40% APR is nothing to scoff at. I don't care. And by the way, if I'm turning those actuators into hex now, like if I can earn, say, 50,000 hex in a year, even if the price is barely appreciated, like that's a pretty good chunk. If we ever get back to all-time highs, 50,000 hex at all-time highs, if we're talking about 50 cent all-time high, that's some serious cash.
Yeah, bro. So like for the average listener that hasn't done this at all, basically what you could do, and I'm making these like proportions up because obviously there's going to be a price difference between HTT, the 7,000 day, extracted hex, and then the actual like hex token itself. But like if you had a bag of hex, you just take 1/3 of it, you stake it in an HSI that is set to end on day 4,000, day 7,000, whatever, and it's super easy to do that using the actuator protocol. They actually have a portal in there that will basically write the stake for you specifically to end on those days, so that way you can delegate it to the protocol. And anyways, when you take, 1/3 of your bag and you stake it out to the day 7,000, and then you extract the 7,000 tokens. Now you have, your HSI, which kind of belongs to you, but not really. It belongs more to the protocol. You get the yield, but the protocol owns it for the duration of you having those tokens. And then all that you do is you take those tokens you just extracted, right? And then you pair it up with another third of your portfolio, or I guess you could do it with half. As a matter of fact, you do it with half instead of third. So you stake half of your bag of hex, you pull out the HTTs that are like, worth whatever that half, that remaining half is, and then you pair them in a liquidity pool and you put that in the farm and you earn the farming rewards. So it's like something just that simple. Now you would have to figure out exactly what the price is of the HTT 7000, because if it's a 1-to-1 to hex, then it's easy. You just do half and half. But if it's a 60-40, then you have to stake 60% of your bag and pair those remaining HTT tokens with the further 40%. Like that's like the price difference between hex and the actuator token is where you want to pull that, or where you want to have your staking ratios. So just kind of like some thoughts for the folks at home, if you guys wanted to do this too. Like, it's super simple. You just take your liquid bag, and again, this is like, you have to stake it in order to get this. And then also the the impermanent loss thing is something that you would have to consider as well, because there's going to be impermanent loss on one side or the other. So you have to decide, like, what is valuable, because like Brendan was saying, they're going to tend toward equality. One of them is going to be less balanced than the other. So, like, presuming that the price is appreciating during that time, it shouldn't be a problem. But like, if for whatever reason the price of the actuator token drops down to like 1% of a hex token, and they're nearing 1-to-1, then like you're going to get like a really great deal when it's discount time, or you're going to have like a whole bunch of or no, excuse me, impermanent loss isn't possible, because at the very end of the hex stake they will be at parity. So it's just like, whatever you start with, there's going to be that, like, if it's
there'll still
20,000.
be impermanent loss, because as the HTT increases in price and gets closer to parity, you're going to get, that's going to increase in price.
Yes.
So it's actually going to push you to more hex.
Yes, you're going to have more
You'll
hex
end
in
up
your
with
bag,
more
and
hex.
you're going to have less HTTs. So this is just something you need to think about. If you want to get your hex stake out of the HTT protocol,
You're going to need to buy more HTTs.
you have to buy more of the HTTs, which means you have to buy more of your own bag, or you just have to be okay with the fact that you're going to lose some HTTs in the process. So, like, if you buy a whole bunch of HTTs right now while the price is down, ooh, this is great. You've got the chart up. Hang on, let me.
Yeah, so this shows you each HTTs in their price to hex ratio. As you can see, over the last few months, they've been fairly steady. And I think part of that is just the price of hex, etc. They have added some new HTTs, so you can see that some of the charts just started, like the HTT 7777. So this was just created in October 2025, and then let's see, this one here was just created on January 12th. Yeah. And that is, I believe that's the
777 one. So that's the Quattro.
That's the 777. Yeah.
But
so
they have a whole bunch of fun days that exist now. So, like, tons of liquidity pool options, tons of farming options, and the farms aren't going to be around forever. That's another thing that they had said. I think that they said the farms are going to be live for 2 years to help bootstrap it. Correct me if I'm wrong on that number.
I don't remember the exact, but yeah. Now,
what's standing out to me is 2 years for some reason. So that's what I repeat. But farms generally don't last forever. But liquidity pools, you're still going to get, you'll still get the trading fees and things like that. So,
right. And if you noticed, when I was looking at the APRs, Will, which ones paid the most? Do you remember?
Oh, I want to say it was day 6,000 and 4,000.
The 6,000 and the 4,000. And as you can see, those are newer protocols, so they don't have as many people staked in those at those numbers. So there's less pool shares. So you can get a larger share of the pool because less people are participating in it. Because most people that participate in the actuator protocol, started somewhere back here. people once Hex stopped staking, people aren't staked. Once the APR went down, people stopped staking as much, and so there's just not as many stakes created in this area. Therefore, the newest ones, 4,000, 6,000, have the highest payouts. Pretty cool.
Yeah, that is nifty. You know what's fascinating is presuming that the hex payout per day doesn't change, it's actually you're better off from like a number of token standpoint. You're better off buying HTTs than you are staking hex because of the price difference, because of the price discount. It's similar to like, buying Lucky or Trio or Deci or any of those other not hex derivatives, but like the I guess they'd be hex sort of derivatives, the hex alternatives. Where there's a discount, there's a premium for like purchasing the
right and holding.
Yeah, purchasing and holding those. So like if you hold HTT, like if you can buy one HTT for half of the price of a hex right now, then anyone who has their hex staked right now, they're not going to have double the amount of hex at the end of their stake, unless the payout per day changes. So like, if that does happen, then you can expect to see the HTT number fluctuate or change as well. If the payout per day changes, then it will also change the amount that the HTTs are. So like right now, I think that the HTTs are of like higher percentage value. So like they're all pretty much in the 60 to 70% of a hex price range, something like that.
I'm looking at them right now. That was the chart we were just looking at. I can pull it up again if you want.
Yeah, but I know they're all like in that zone. So they're almost one hex unit, but the payout per day is 1.5 hex per T-share. So if a person has like a whole bunch of T-shares and you're only getting one hex per day, then you're not going to be like doubling your hex bag at the end of 15 years. You'd have to stake longer than 15 years to double your bag. And so, if you can find an HTT that's on sale at 50% of a hex, then you will make more hex at the end of the stake than you would if you were just staking the hex. Now, I would presume that the prices of the actuator tokens would fluctuate relatively close to the payout at the end of their life
as it gets closer.
As it gets closer, but that doesn't necessarily mean like for instance, when I first started using actuator, the price of the HTT 5000s was about 60% of a hex, and I pulled it and I withdrew them all out, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go do things, blah blah blah, and I like fiddled with it and played with the protocol a bunch, and then I think I had like spent the money or bought other coins with the HTTs. And then I was like, you know what? I want to get my hex stakes back out of the actuator protocol. I'm going to go check on prices and things. And the price of the HTTs were like 30%. And so like I had basically, because I had pulled out at 60% and I re-entered back at 30%, I was able to purchase my hex stake back or undelegate my hex stake back from the actuator protocol at like a massive discount. Presuming that I had like pulled the money out and spent it at the time that I did, and I was injecting new capital to get my old investment back. So like the price of the tokens does fluctuate, and if you want to play the charts on this thing too, then it's like it's a pretty small market. There's not a whole lot of people doing it, and I think as you had the chart pulled up earlier, Brendan, I want to say that there was only about like 20 to 50 grand in each one of these liquidity pools. So like only a small amount of these tokens exist. Relatively speaking to the entire hex market. And so, and it's really cool because at one point they are all going to be worth exactly one hex. You just gotta wait for it. So there's a lot of great cool things that people can do with the actuator. We don't shout them out anywhere near enough, but Bill and all the other guys, C3 over at over the actuator, they made some cool stuff, man. I am quite pleased with it. Glad you brought that up.
Yeah, it's good stuff. And look, it's just an opportunity especially if you already have stakes to to maybe go and farm some. Like you said, right now, if you were to buy the HTT 7777, which is it ends on day 7777, right? You can buy those for about 60 cents per actuator token. When they come to fruition, you'd get one hex for them. So right now you're paying 0.6 hex for one, and you're getting you're getting a full hex so you're literally gaining 40% yield
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty wild.
That's bonkers, man.
Right. So if
That
you
is-
wanted to, like you said, it like, is it worthwhile to buy Hex and stake it, or should you just buy actuators and hold it? Now there is a counterparty risk there, right? Because it's not dealing directly with the Hex protocol. But it is a mutable code. And yeah, it's certainly an opportunity. If you think it's safe enough.
Yeah.
Which
And
clearly
they have even on the dashboard, like, hey, if you buy this actuator token, you're making more money in Hex. You're making more Hex than if you were to stake it. And they have like, this is the best one to buy for short term. This is the best one to buy if you want to do liquidity farming. This one is the best one to just buy and hold. This is the best one that if you want to sell it right now and get the best deal, this is the best one to sell. So they have all these, like, they have the leaderboard ranking right there in the actuator protocol. Like it's super cool right now. Yeah, the best total return is HTT Quattro Septo. So
it says 68% fixed return in Hex. That's crazy.
Yeah. So if you just buy that, then that's almost better than staking, I believe. I would have to look at the actual numbers. Let me take a look.
Yeah, it is.
Because I've got so let's see. If you stake 14,000 Hex, you get 8,000 Hex. So let's see what is 8 divided by 14 equals 57%. Yeah. So with the actuator protocol earning you 68%, if you buy the Quattro Septo tokens, then the amount of Hex that you would get if you stake it is 57%. So if you can get 67% on buying the token, then it's like, hey, you don't even have to do a 15-year stake. You can do a Quattro Septo and make a higher percentage point than if you were to just straight up stake the Hex yourself. So fascinating tool. I freaking love it. It is a nifty thing, broski. What else?
I'm just gonna have my coin sitting there, and I'm gonna gain 40% APR, give or take, plus my Hex stakes, whatever they're earning. And okay, maybe I'll lose a little bit as far as impermanent loss goes, but not that much.
Gain from the Hex stake, even at the end of the protocol. When you turn in all your actuator tokens and you get your Hex stake back, congratulations, you've also got the yield from the Hex stake. So that should more than make up for whatever like minimal and permanent loss there is between
plus
now and
the
then.
yield that I'm plus the 39% yield I'm getting on the actuator token. Yeah, right now. So honestly, I think it's one of the coolest plays in the Pulse Chain ecosystem right now. And I think it has been. I just don't think a lot of people, one, again, are staking Hex as often. And two, I don't think a lot of people use the actuator protocol. I know some of our community does.
Oh yeah.
But
certainly not. Their whole liquidity pool is $260,000. So it's like it's not there's not a whole lot. Total stake value 160 million. Yeah.
If we think about it this way, though, with how far Hex has dropped in price, think about what it would have been if it wasn't at all-time lows, right? It'd probably be in the low millions.
Yeah, bro.
So I think it's not bad overall for current prices.
It is not bad at all. I was talking to Dace earlier today when I had bought the Hex sword from our good buddy Mr. Hex Sword on Twitter. He's a super cool guy, by the way. If you guys want a sword made, go hit him up. But I had bought that from him for $2,000 worth of Hex. I paid in Hex to get this sword, and the price of Hex was 2 cents per Hex at the time. Wow. And so right now we are 10% of that. So I paid him essentially $2,000 for a sword, and right now you can buy that same amount of Hex for $200. And like the price of everything is just going fucking bonanza. So like if you want to rebuild your bag, if you had cashed out at some point or done something with the money, like it's this is the time to buy. This is the time to be restacking. I'm glad I'm getting back in the swing of working and things, so I can start
restacking. And now that we're talking about it, right? So restack your Hex.
Mhm.
it's okay to stake because now you see there's other ways to gain additional yield because of what's being built on top of the ecosystem. And honestly, it's one of the reasons I still love Pulse Chain. I love the DeFi aspect. I love the opportunity to gain yield. And honestly, it's like I'm like, man, should I just take half my hex bag? Like, should I take a quarter of my hex bag and stake it to 4,000 and then pair that up with another quarter of my hex bag? And then have a ton of APR coming to me through the actuator protocol, and then still have the hex stakes that are kind of going to come out later. Plus, I could remove that from the pool and have my liquid hex anytime I wanted. So really, I'd be locking up like a quarter. I'm very much considering this. Plus, it helps that I'm continuing to stack tokens. So being able to buy so cheap, I had really good buy prices last week, and of all four of the core tokens, but Hex and Pulse X have certainly been my focus.
It's been some sweet bargain prices lately, bro. It has been fantastic. I am like belaboring that the tower company went out of business like recently. Otherwise, because if I'd been doing towers up until now, bro, oh my god, the bags would be fat. I would have like tripled or quadrupled my bag size just from fucking spending overtime money in that. But like it is what it is. It's crazy cool opportunity. Crazy fucking cool. And I like that like it's not even
has money.
And it's not even like your hex is really like in danger, because when it's staked and it's in the protocol, then like you can always cash out on it if you want and sell the HTTs, or you can continue having them. So it's like, you don't get your exact dollar value of the hex stake, but you
what's your
can
risk?
get
10%.
Yeah, you get like 80% of the value, and all that it does is sit in the protocol and accumulate stuff. And then even if you like you delegate the hex stake to the protocol, so the protocol owns it now. Still at the end, you get the yield. So it's like there's still going to be some hex for you in the future. You can sell 20% of the value, or like you could sell for an 80% extraction of the value. It's way better than like the icosahedron system where you can get like maybe 5% or something for your hex stakes. But yeah, man, totally fucking such a cool like gambit in it. The risk is so minimal and so like meaningless that it's almost not even worth considering. It's just like the protocol is a third party protocol. These are good dudes. They have done nothing but prove themselves in the pulse chain space. So like as human beings, they have my trust anyways. They might not have your guys' trust in the audience, but like me and Brendan have met these people, and we've done the interacting and things. And I've met Bill in real life like 2 or 3 times, and he's a perfectly great dude. Nothing but great vibes from him. So like I trust the people. I trust the protocol. The protocol works. Like people have looked at it and tore it apart. I know Crispy Man did some crazy stuff, and he's a smart guy, so I trust what he does. And so like it's been nothing but great stuff over at the Actuator.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we for those in the chat, you see constantly us, telling people that they're not doing a good job, that we're questioning protocols and questioning coins. And for us to both feel pretty strongly about a protocol, that doesn't mean that you should take our word for it. You should do your own research. But I do think that our word is something, because we're very, very specific about the protocols that we give any backing to. And that doesn't mean, look, there's great protocols out there that I have nothing against, but I wouldn't necessarily be like, hey, I'm backing this protocol, and we're not getting paid by these guys. We're not getting paid by anything except in the yield from my farms that I have there. But
I'm using it.
We don't do paid promotions. We don't do any of that shit. We're just telling you the things we like. And look,
people have
financial advice.
People have offered to give us paid promotion. It's like, oh, that's kind of weird. I don't like that.
We've turned them down.
That's me personally, bro.
Well, I can't say we all have. I've turned all of the paid promotions that I've been offered down.
Oh, okay. Well, if you guys happen to see Nate McGettit on a stripper pole or something, then I'm just kidding, Nate. You're fucking awesome, broski. Nate's out here fucking kicking ass, taking names. Fucking bro, did you happen to catch there was a stream that I did with Vets in Crypto on a Whiskey Wednesday, maybe about a month or so ago.
So
And
I didn't catch it only because I saw the aftermath and everyone
bro,
shitting on that.
dude, that was rowdy, man. I was so proud of the chats. I was so proud of the chats for basically calling these guys Ponzi schemers like the entire stream. And like I was sitting here, so it was myself, it was our buddy Vets in Crypto, who's like a normal dude, cool, awesome guy. He just happened to like listen to some people that created a Ponzi thing, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm playing in this Ponzi." So when I had first invited him on the show to talk about stuff, I thought he was going to talk about the vets thing that he does, where he runs like a charity. And I thought it was
Mhm.
going to be about that, and it kind of was for the first like 20 or 30 minutes, but then after that, it turned into this basically this talking about this Ponzi protocol, and like I'm sitting here trying to ask questions, and I'm like, man, I can't think of like anything polite to say, like any polite questions. And it's like, bro, this sounds like a Ponzi. And then he's like, yeah, it is kind of a Ponzi. It's about 80% of the money that we generate is from, the new users coming in and playing the Ponzi game. But it's like, we'll get you your money back, and it's like, what? This is absolutely
Oof.
crazy. It was so MLM and so
And to
Ponzi-esque.
admit it on stream. Jeez.
Yeah, bro, they were both. I mean, they were unapologetic about it. And like
At least they were
to
honest.
Yeah, yeah, and to be fair, like most everything is some version of a Ponzi, but it has to be like a sustainable Ponzi. It has to be like somewhere between 10 to 20%, like in order for it to work. If it's like a 90% Ponzi, then it's like, dude, that's not sustainable. That's the candle that burns fast and burns out quickly. But if you got like something that like works slowly, like interest is a Ponzi. Mastercard, Visa, they're Ponzi's. Like the U.S. birth rate is a Ponzi. Everything's a Ponzi. To quote our good friend Miguel Darlacosta Crypto, everything is a Ponzi. It's just there's Ponzi's that are sustainable, and there's Ponzi's that are like, bro, this is out of control. And so, anyways, there has been times on the DGen Roundtable where I've had to like, we do not support this protocol. It hasn't been many, but yeah, I do think that our reputation as being moderately uh moderately well informed people with pretty good judges of character and things is good for what it is. So I'm not in any concern over talking about the actuator protocol. I'm quite pleased to give them more attention and give them more, daylight and education for the masses, just so that more people use this cool tool that has worked very well for me, and we can all, live happily ever after. And like, I wonder what it does to the staking mechanic if it like makes it less cool and awesome because now there's a tool that uses it that makes it better than it was in the first place. So part of me wonders about that, but I really, I really got no clue, man. I'm just excited. I'm excited for the future. It's gonna be good.
Likewise, brother.
Speaking of things I'm excited for, I'm going to do a quick round of chat shoutouts, and then I think it is about time to. If you have nothing else that you want to chit chat about, I have to go to the store and go grab some things. But we're going to go ahead and run through these chats. We've got Eddie GC20 saying, "What do you think about Michael Saylor's new stock STRC paying 11.5%?" I will say it's paying better than Hex.
That's
So
what we were talking about earlier. I don't know if you were here when we were talking about it. That was one of the first things we talked about on stream. Was
yes,
that Michael Saylor bought another 18,000 Bitcoin, 1.2
Mhm.
billion for 1.2 billion dollars a couple days ago.
Yeah,
And STRC is doing really well. It just hit $100. As far as it's the price now $100, and it's paying 11.5% interest. Like, as Michael Saylor says, it's doing exactly what it was designed to do.
yeah.
And I quote.
Which, like I think he took that from Richard Hart. It's doing exactly what it was designed. It was designed to do at 10,000x. But yeah, it's interesting that they've got it up there. I wonder how sustainable it is, and because I think that they had came up. I don't know if it was always paying out at 11.5%. I think that it has been changing or something like that. But their analysis of Bitcoin is like over any 5-year span, it's about a 20% increase, and so they're counting on that in order to be able to make good on these 11% interest payments. And keep the other 8.5% for themselves and not have to worry about it. Maybe buy more Bitcoin with it. But I think that it's a bold move, and we'll see where it goes. Just reminder for the folks at home: if you're going to trust your money to Michael Saylor's stock thing, then just know that it's like these are the big players. These are the Wall Street guys. These are the like banks and traditional finance system that a lot of us are trying to move away from to gain more sovereignty in the personal finance space. So you can buy it if you want to. I certainly don't want to, but that's my thoughts on it. Excellent. So we've got Mr. Eddie. We've also got Mr. Mix, aka Jay Zole, which he's got a whole bunch of emojis that I cannot read because I'm on StreamYard. They show up as boxes.
It's crying happy face. It is monkey face. It is crying laughing face. It is purple heart, and it is popcorn.
Oh wow! So like, see no evil, be sad, eat the popcorn, have fun. That's a good one. Good to see you, Mr. Mix, Jay Zole. Excellent. Welcome to the show, broski. And then we've also got Pulse Chain's best cheerleader. We've got Tam, who says, hello, gentlemen. Hello to you too. Tam, good to see you. Welcome to the stream. Shout out to Tam. I'm not sure when she's going to get back on the Cool Kids Tuesday show, or the Cool Kids Tuesday spaces that she used to run. I know she's catching up on a lot of work after the crazy snowstorms in the area. But always happy to have Tam shouting us out and reposting our streams on Twitter. I am not. Oh, we are still not live on Twitter. We're only on YouTube tonight.
Yeah, I noticed that like 10 minutes ago. I was like, not worth adding it now.
Yeah, well, it gives me an option to click go live on it, but every time I've clicked it, it just says, it's not working. So I suppose it's not working.
Yeah, X has had a few issues recently. Not much, but a few.
Yeah. Yep. But anyways, that's my thoughts for today. The other fun and fancy thing that I want to mention is that the U.S. Treasury has scheduled a $15 billion max debt buyback operation today. So that's happening. I don't know what that means. Yeah, 15 billion. So
okay, I'll tell you. I'll just put it in this terms. It's essentially twice as large as the largest ever buyback. So it is by far the largest buyback they've ever had. Essentially, what that means is they're buying back $15 billion. So they're injecting $15 billion into the economy. Essentially.
Okay.
It's like money printing in a different sense.
Okay.
It is providing more money into the economy.
Awesome. And speaking of more money in the economy, the last thing that I'll mention, I've put all these in the DGen Roundtable Campfire Stories topic, but Sweden has urged its citizens to keep a week's worth of cash at home just in case of a major global crisis. And now be reminded that Sweden is a cashless country. Like they recently, or maybe it's Norway. But it's one of the Scandinavian countries. I know it's not Finland, but one of the Scandinavian countries. I'm pretty sure it's Sweden. But they're pretty much cashless. They don't do cash over there, and it's just like, what a ridiculous.
I think Sweden, Norway. I think you're probably right that those are up there as close to cashless societies.
Yeah, and they're an interesting culture up there too. They're very like naturally communitarian, not communist, but communitarian, where they all just like. They work together and they do that. And that's kind of necessary up in the north where it gets real fucking cold. And so like that is the way that their people are. So they all definitely like do the things that the government recommends. So it's like it's fascinating that this is a cool new thing going on up there. But anyways, that's all that I've got for the show. Brendan, any final thoughts before we hop into our fond farewells?
No, thanks for inviting me in. And surprise, you didn't have as short of a show as you expected.
Yeah, that's true.
By the way,
surprise, everybody.
I do tell you, if I'm not going to be on stream, I tell you I'm not going to be on stream. Otherwise,
that's right, you do.
I'm going to be on stream.
You do a very good job of that. So forgive my memory lapses in not putting.
All good. I was away for a few weeks, bro. We got to get back in the swing of things,
Yeah, we're getting back in the fucking swing of things, bro. Getting back in the swing. All right, Mr. Brendan, where can the folks find you?
Happy St. Patrick's Day. Actually, you know what? I'll probably be on Sunday, so I'll probably see you all before St. Patrick's Day. However, if I don't, happy St. Patrick's Day. Salancha. You can find me on X at anonymous_bean. You can find us in the chat if you join our Telegram. And other than that, I'll see you all on Sunday. Have a great week. Rest of the week.
Excellent. Thank you, Brendan. Thank you for joining. It's been great. Ladies and germs, if you guys want to find me, you can go to t.me/Will Stevenson. That is my Telegram handle thing. And the DGen Roundtable, you guys can join our beloved community by scanning that QR code just on the lower right of Brendan, or you can type in t.me/DRT join now. That's DRT, Delta Romeo Tango. DGen Roundtable, join now. That's how you get with us. We stream here every 8 p.m. Eastern on Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sundays. Reminder for the folks at home, for this Friday, we are doing the fantastic book recommended by the Herc, The Way of the Superior Man. So that is what we are covering, and it's a pretty short book. I think it's like 5 hours long. So super cool, super awesome, and super great. And then this Sunday, we'll be covering the weekly news. Until then, I want to thank you all for spending your valuable time with us here on the DGen Roundtable. As Agent Jay used to say, we know that time is your most valuable asset, and we appreciate you spending it right here with us. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Will Stevenson, but more importantly, you have been watching the DGen Roundtable, and I'm the producer, so I'm going to get my trigger finger ready because it's time to remind all the folks at home to remember to DGen responsibly.